America is in the grip of the worst public health emergency in its history, and drugs are to blame. Now the government is trying to get a grip on it by introducing new laws. A drugs overdose is now the main cause of death for Americans under the age of 50. More than 70,000 people died after an overdose last year alone. In 2016, we reported on the growing problem of opioid addiction in America. Darren Conway has been back to talk to three people he met: Steve, Anna and Brittany, to see what has become of their struggle. You may find their stories upsetting.
I'm addicted to heroin. I want to stop, but I can't.
I'm not going to die from this. I'm not going to die from this.
Opioids are now the biggest drug epidemic in American history.
That's what sucks about this. Tomorrow's not promised.
The number of deaths from opioid abuse have skyrocketed over the past 15 years.
It's not a poor people thing anymore. It's not a inner city ghetto drug anymore. It's everywhere, and it's killing people every single day.
Killing tens of thousands of Americans every year.
That's more deaths than from car accidents and from guns.
When we first met Anna, she was a new resident on Baltimore's back streets of addiction.
All right, come on. A little bit of a rush.
2 years later, and we find her on the same street.
Oh, God. Someone's missing something.
She's just been released from jail after spending 2 weeks for prostitution. That's 2 weeks of no heroin. Still homeless and relying on handouts, Anna is just one of the many faces that are lost in the darkness of America's opioid crisis.
I know that heroin can kill me. I know the consequence, and even right now, I'm scared to shoot up again. But I know eventually I probably will if I stay down here.
It didn't take long. Anna started prostituting herself for the money needed to buy drugs for herself and her boyfriend Dave, and is now back in the full grip of her addiction.
We don't know what else to do you understand? When people break their arm and legs, they need rehab to walk. We need rehab to learn how to live, all over again.
Brittany had overdosed several times throughout her 4 years of addiction before she was admitted to a rehab center in Florida, where we met her 2 years ago.
The date resonates in my brain, March 19, 2016. That's when I got clean. And it wasn't easy, but it was the most glorious experience of my life.
But even in recovery, addiction is a daily struggle.
I was sick for 3 months, throwing up constantly. I thought it was a bad flu. I got all these different tests done. One of them was a pregnancy test. I remember her coming back telling me, "You're positive." And I was like, "I'm positive for what?" And she told me I was pregnant, and I immediately started bawling.
Brittany had a baby girl, beautiful, sweet baby girl. And about a month after that, sadly, Brittany relapsed again. I just felt nothing but anger, frustration again. And I was so angry at her.
I wasn't thinking about my daughter. I just felt like my daughter didn't deserve me. She deserved better. But yeah.
One of the saddest things I would ever have to do would be to have to tell my granddaughter about her mother, that her mother was an addict. And she tried very hard to get past this addiction, but was unable to, and died from it.
Steve had hit rock bottom when we first met him and was living in the same house where his friend had died from an overdose just months before.
Seen that scene, and it disgusts me how I looked. Couldn't even keep my eyes open. I couldn't form a sentence, slurring.
Shit's gotten a hold of me.
Just took everything from me, and I gave it everything I had, willingly.
After rehab, Steve moved to Kentucky with his girlfriend, found a job, and is living a clean life.
2 years ago, I couldn't even dream that I could be here doing what I'm doing and as happy as I am.
My story doesn't end here. I want my daughter to be proud of me. I want people to be proud of me. I want to be proud of myself.
If I was your mother right now, what would you want to say to me?
I would tell her I'm sorry. I can't tell her, hey, wait. A couple more years, I'll get better. I can't tell her that. I don't know. That's what sucks about this. Tomorrow's not promised. For her or for me.